I come from the land of the ice and giant something something there. Oh yeah, if I could die with you today. I don't know the lyrics, so I'm just saying, hey. Hey, Gigs Movie Page, this is Michael, and if you can tell with me butchering the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin, I'm here to do a review on Thor Ragnorok. This is Sunday morning, happy daylight savings times to everybody. I had seen this yesterday in IMAX, but I totally spaced and forgot, so I'm doing it Sunday morning now, and I saw it yesterday, so now that I've had a day to digest the movie for what it's worth and to see it, I'm going to go ahead and do this review. First, this movie's been getting a lot of attention because this is more of a comedy because of the director. There's a new director, New Zealand guy, whose name I cannot pronounce for the life of me, and I'm not gonna. Takayu Ki. Yeah. Anyways, he was chosen to direct this movie. So the thing is, the reason why I kind of like that with the Thor films. They go from one director to another. Like you have Kenneth Branagh doing the first Thor, and then you have Alan Taylor from Game of Thrones, and doing this one now with Thor Ragnarok. They decided to make it more comedy. Marvel did, so they brought in this new guy who did this vampire movie called What We Do in the Shadows. And the director had a small part in that movie, and now he has a small part in this movie. He plays Korg, Rock Gladiator. Anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll just tell you what's going on. This one takes place 2 years after the Avengers and 4 years after the events of the Dark World. Thor has been trying to figure out what is going on with Asgard. When we last saw Thor, he had a little cameo at the end of Doctor Strange, talking to Doctor Strange and him saying, "I need to find my father Odin. I fear he's missing." And so when this movie, they do go back to that whole scene where he meets Doctor Strange. Him and Loki go to New York because Loki left him for dead in New York. So they have to go find him. And so when they do, Loki is taken care of while Doctor Strange is talking to Thor, and they ask him, they do the whole scene where, "You drink tea?" "I don't drink tea." "Okay." He ends up giving that big ass beer, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He drinks it, and then he tells him, "I'm looking for my father." So after a couple of jokes where they have to go through different spells, he finds out where Odin is at. Odin's in Norway, so he sends Thor and Loki to Norway to find Odin. Anyways, but the movie opens with Thor locked in a cage, talking to a dead guy, saying, "You're probably wondering how did this happen to me?" Well, just from the previews. Well, this happened. So Thor has to fight this weird, I forget his name. He has to fight this fire creature, voiced by Clancy Brown, which I thought was cool. And then, of course, he has to fight his minions. So Thor has to battle the minions and fight him, and while they're doing this, they're also playing the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. And then here he is, Mjolnir just going nuts, flying, smashing, doing the lightning bolts. And he takes off Clancy Brown's head, which is like this bowl, this crown with the horns and the skull, kind of like a longhorn. And so he has it, and he has to get it to Asgard. Problem is, when he tries to get to Asgard, Heimdall is not there. This other guy named Skurg, played by Carl Urban, is there. And Skurg actually happens to work for Loki, as some dumbass. And while they go there, he sees that there's been a giant statue erect of Loki, and he's like, okay, something's not right. And so when he goes there, he sees Odin watching a play of Loki dying in the Dark World, and how Thor had to basically it's this puff piece where Loki dies a hero and all this stuff, and you have actors playing Thor, Odin, and Loki. And the funniest thing is, one spoiler: Matt Damon is playing Loki with the really bad wig on. You can tell it's Matt Damon. It's like, hey, that's Matty Damon. So then after that, he tries to talk some sense into Odin, but it's not really Odin. And so once he throws the hammer, grabs the fake Odin, he's just like, that hammer is going to come back to my hand even with your head attached. Now would be a good time to spill the beans, brother. Ah, damn it. So then it ends up being Loki, and Thor grabs Mjolnir, and he's just like, okay, where's father at before I kill you? Okay, listen, Thor, there's been a bit of a problem. So then, of course, they go to New York, and then that whole thing, and Odin tells Loki and Thor they had a sister named Hela, the goddess of death, played by Kate Blanchett, that she is more powerful than both. It's going to take both of you guys to stop her. I can't because my time here is ending. Well, good luck, boys. And then he just disappears, meaning his time is end. And then, of course, the moment he disappears, Thor and Loki turn around, and then here comes Hela, Kate Blanchett's character. And so she says, "So you are my brothers, eh?" So Thor is not having none of it, and lawn darts her. Basically chugs me on her. You sure about this? And then, of course, the infamous scene where Mjolnir is destroyed. So Loki and Thor try to escape using the Star Bridge. Using the Star Bridge so they can get the hell out of Dodge. Unfortunately, Hela is right on their tail and separates both of them. So Hela makes it to Asgard, but Loki and Thor fell out of the gateway and are lost in another dimension. The moment that Hela gets there, she kills off two of the Mighty Three characters. She kills off Ray Stevenson's character and Zachary Levi's character. So obviously we know she's a threat. Once she's on Asgard, she decides to fight all the Asgardians, including the I forget his character name. He had the mace and the ponytail, the Asian guy. Let's just say Hela makes mincemeat pie out of all of them. While this is happening, Loki's buddy Scourge now works for her, and Heimdall, played by Idris Elba, steals this big magnificent sword and basically tries to rescue as many Asgardians as he can up in the mountains before Hela finds out. And I like what they did with his character because he has the dreads and he has the beard, and he kind of reminds me of my friend Ron Jones or Bishop from the X-Men movies. So to me, I thought it was cool. Like, dude, Idris Elba's playing Jonesy. Well, so while this is happening, Thor's on this color-infused planet and basically has no idea what's going on. There, he's taken a hostage by Scavenger 142, who ends up becoming Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson. He is then sent to become a gladiator for the Grand Master, played by Jeff Goldblum, and his gladiator he has to go up against his champion. Thor basically is not like, yeah, I'm not going to do this, but they implanted something in his neck that Valkyrie keeps shocking him, and then ultimately he decides, if I beat your champion, and when I get the hell off this planet, pretty much, okay, give me your champion. So he gets his weapons. Unfortunately, here comes the big controversy. He has to get his hair cut by a certain somebody, wink wink. I'm not going to spill all the beans, but he has to get his hair cut. And at first he's not thrilled about it. He's like, please don't cut my hair. And so he comes out with his hair shorn, still has a thick beard, and he has two swords, a big hammer, and a shield, because he no longer has Mjolnir. So then he puts on the Thor helmet and decides, okay, I'll fight this guy. And here comes the Grandmaster's doing his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion. You're incredible. And ends up being the Hulk from the trailer. And of course, yes! Everyone's like, what the hell? It's alright, I know him. He's your friend from work. And Loki's scared shitless, like, oh, hell no. Loki, look who it is. And Loki's like, oh, God. Just panicking, because last time Loki messed with Hulk, Loki got his ass handed to him pretty good. And it was, so everybody was dying when that happened. So Thor tries to talk to Hulk some sense into him. The sun's going down, buddy. But Hulk is not having any of that, and so they have to fight each other, basically, fisticuffs. Problem is when basically Thor has the Hulk dead to rights, the Grandmaster basically turns on his electrical thing, charging him, knocking him out. But then the Hulk just gets the drop on him, and so basically we think, oh man, the fight was fixed. Later on, we realize that while this is happening, Thor wakes up being nursed, and he's in the Hulk's penthouse suite, where the Hulk tries to talk to him about, what happened? How did you get here? I came here. On what? Quinjet. Where's the Quinjet? Okay, how the hell do I get out of here? So, trying to figure a way out, and trying to figure out how to stop this, and also the fact that the Hulk can now speak, Mark Ruffalo, they changed it to Lou Ferrigno. Mark Ruffalo does the mannerisms of the Hulk, which is why he kind of, talks like a 5-year-old. The whole, me Hulk, me do this, you Thor, puny. And so, the moment Thor gets to the Quinjet and tries to figure it out, Hulk chases after him. But the thing is, he turns on this video message and ends up being Scarlett Johansson's black cameo as Black Widow. He's like, "Hey, big guy, the sun's going down, and I need you to send the Quinjet away." And right then and there, it just basically melts his heart. He's like, and he just goes back to being Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner. And so he tries like, "Hey, Banner, Thor, what happened?" And so he basically has no idea how the hell he got on this planet. They must have picked him up when he was flying his Quinjet, and he's been the Hulk for 2 years, and he's not happy about it. To him, he says, I've been, me and the Hulk, we've always had one hand on each other on the steering wheel. Unfortunately, in the last 2 years, the Hulk's been driving, and I've been stuck in the trunk. So now that Banner is basically naked, they just basically grab some old clothes, put them on him, and Thor and Banner try to talk about, we got to get out of here, we got to get back to Asgard. My sister destroyed Mjolnir. She's going to destroy Asgard. We have to stop her. She wants to start Ragnarok. Ragnarok in Greek mythology is the end of all things, the apocalypse. So while this is happening, they try to talk some sense. So the Grand Master's pissed that the Hulk's gone and Thor took him. So he puts a bounty on both their heads and says whoever can find them gets, all this money. So Valkyrie and Loki have to team up to try and find it. So while this is happening, Banner is wearing Tony Stark's clothing and is basically just puts on his shades and just says, "Oh, great, now what do we do?" "Well, I'm going to go in disguise." "Dude, I'm already in disguise. I'm Tony Stark." "Damn, why does Tony wear his pants so tight?" So they have to just talk about, okay, this is what else we're going to do. So they make a deal with Valkyrie, who has Loki hogtied, that all 4 of them are going to get on a ship, get out of the planet Scourge or wherever they're at, and get back to Asgard and stop Hela. So that's all I'm going to talk about the movie. It's funny because when I saw the movie, it was me, my dad, and my brother. We all had mixed feelings for it. They didn't like it because they felt like, my brother didn't like it because they felt like it dragged on too much. My dad didn't like it because of the comedy. I kind of thought this was best because I was like in that camp where I thought the Dark World sucked ass. I know that it was cool that they brought in all these other guys and Christopher Eccleston was the Dark Elves king and all that stuff. I just felt like that's it. They have to go up against these guys. So to me, I thought the second one sucked ass. Well, I like this one because of the comedy aspects and the fact that the planets that Hulk resides on and Thor has an 80s feel to it. I know they want too much of the comedy, but in this one they dug deep into Thor's mythos, and you could see that later on with all the information he knows that he can become the future king of Asgard, which is what Odin wanted for him after all. When he wasn't a cocky, arrogant little pissant, and now became, the eventual god of thunder, and the Avenger we all knew and loved. So yeah, I liked it. My dad didn't like the dialogue. My brother hated the fact that it drugged on, but I kind of liked it because I hated the second one. So I want to talk about the cast. Helmsworth, Hiddleston, and Anthony Hopkins all knocked it out of the park because they're all reprising their characters. To me, I kind of like the evolution of Thor, cocky prince, and now realizes I have to save my people. They were all great. All the guys who came back from the original movies who were just there to get killed off, I thought kind of sucked because it was just like, oh, that's it. Lady Sif, Jamie Alexander's character, is not in the movie. They wrote her out because she's on Blind Spot. Idris Elba came back. I know, he only has a small part, but he looked fantastic. So it was always great to see him. Out of the new guys, Cate Blanchett's the one who sells it the best. She just knocked it out of the home. Carl Urban, I felt, was kind of lost. He really had no idea what the hell he was doing. He's just there, bald, with an axe and 2 M16s. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with 2 machine guns? And Jeff Goldblum's eccentricness. There's a lot of cameos and funny things in this movie. I liked it, and I want you guys to go check it out. The next movie I'm going to go see is Justice League. I know, Marvel and DC, but there ain't shit out, so thanks, guys. Bye.